It's that time again, chat. It's car maintenance day. It's car maintenance day. Car maintenance Friday. Super loud car maintenance Friday. I still have Shadowed Mage's last cheer on my screen, on my mobile screen. That's very funny. With his awesome joke. Alrighty. Wait for people to pass. There we go. Alrighty. Here we are. Actually not here, but across the street we are. A little farther to go though. Should get one of those jacket-mounted selfie sticks, so I can do all these dramatic pans instead of just holding it in my hand. That's what I should do. It's funny, I get notifications on this phone, obviously, but you get so many notifications these days, even if you turn a lot of them off, that you have to remember, like, oh, I'm actually supposed to be paying attention to this vibration one, instead of, like, just sort of tuning a bunch of them out, so that you have to get into this big escalation. It's like, I need to be notified. How can I make sure that I'll actually pay attention to this notification one way or the other? Alright. Just about made it now. Good morning. Just one. Okay.
You could go in that room over there and I'm going to follow you.
Great.
Sometimes you just have a drink?
Just water's good.
Just water? Okay.
Thank you.
And Jonathan's going to be your server.
Sounds good.
Everything.
Thank you. All right. What have we got? All right. Let's see. I'm not doing pancakes this time. I'm feeling an omelet. The classic breakfast, yeah, but I'm feeling an omelet. 3-egg omelet with, let's see, maybe broccoli and ham. Thank you.
I like his dinosaurs.
Broccoli and ham.
My granddaughter's too, and she loves dinosaurs too. And I see Bosco's serving the Milford Mall. Where? Bosco's and the Milford Mall. It used to be where JC Penney was.
Perfect.
I love that store. But anyway, they sent me a flyer and it was having dinosaurs.
All right.
I haven't gotten them yet. Yeah, it amazed me how they love these dinosaurs. He loves it.
I'm thinking I could do hash and eggs, but I'm actually thinking that we're looking at I'm thinking broccoli, ham, maybe a little bit of feta. That's what it is. That's the stuff. Broccoli, ham, and a little bit of feta.
I think it goes without saying that we're fundamentally agree on the preference of how these elections to go. It's already on my radar. I don't think I have to tell you. Right? Like, stating the obvious in that way is somewhat.
Okay.
Sorry for this. So,
I know what I'm getting. Oh no, instead of feta I could get mozzarella, which I have started to really like a lot. Alright, I'm gonna do that. Ham, eggs, or ham, broccoli, feta.
criticism
That's the
of
stuff.
it was also hurtful. Because clearly, why would anybody like to feel bad? It's not something I really it's not quality that I enjoy experiencing.
Okay.
So
I'm ready. It is a dull gray day out there today, chat. It is a kind of that late November. It's right. It's the way that it often is around Thanksgiving in the Northeast, anyway, the U.S., which is where it starts getting kind of, overcast, like 40s, high 30s, low 40s. Maybe it like pulls itself up to mid to high 40s by the end of the day, but it's sort of gray and overcast, and it's not the greatest weather of all time. So, but it is seasonal, so I'm very used to this kind of thing. This is actually the way that my relatives lived in New Jersey, northern New Jersey. We would often visit them on Thanksgiving, and so this is exactly what things looked like. Kind of cold, but not completely freezing, and no snow usually, and like looking kind of like this. Sure.
Thank you so much.
it's really hard from within that kind of a state to like it's not gonna change anything.
also have noticed that the way that Twitch's notifications are doing things, everyone has been talking about the fact that the notifications have been either not going out or go out to fewer people or something. So I've been noticing that quite a bit, that it takes a lot longer for people to actually notice that streams are going on. And part of that is probably stream overload of a lot of people being there, but there's also, it's also, I think, a different way that they calculate where viewers are and sort of connect to them. So that is unfortunate.
You ready to go? Let's go. No, eat your sausage and leave it here. Just eat it. One more. No. Why are you squeezing it?
It's dirty. You gotta clean your hand.
Come, let's go put this on. Come on, let's go. Come, let's go.
Hey, what's up, Anthony? The car, well, the car's being serviced, but it's like it's regular maintenance, but it's 120,000 mile service, which is a big one. So there's like a lot of stuff they have to double check, and also this is annoying. The brakes have been squealing, and I brought that in the last time I brought it in. They were like, "Oh yeah, we fixed that," and then started squealing again. I'm like, "You did not fix it." So today the service advisor was like, "Oh yeah, that happens with my 2025 Toyota." I'm like, that doesn't help me. So, but it's regular maintenance for the most part. But because it's a big one, it's going to be a couple hours for them to do it. So, and I have to pick up my daughter in a few hours from school because she only is at school until 1 o'clock on Fridays, and then she's got a college interview today. We're going to go biking today. Got a lot of stuff going on. Got big plans. So, how are you, Anthony?
Do you need some time?
Nope, I'm all set. I would like a 3-egg omelet, please. Could I get it with broccoli, ham, and a little bit of, actually, yeah, just a little bit of mozzarella, just not too heavy on the mozzarella.
Sure.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. I was waiting for you.
Yeah. Does it come with toast or anything, or like?
Sourdough?
Yeah, sourdough's fine actually.
Sourdough's fine?
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
Hey, Lucas. Oh, sorry.
So yeah,
This way, buddy.
so there's nothing specific. Although it's funny. Good morning, Trivet.
Do you want your tea?
Good morning. How are you? Did you, Trivet? Have you started the new thing? The new work? Have you had any days yet, or nights? I guess I should say. I don't know if you can hear that music. It's very trance-like. You live near Newcastle in the UK. Had our first snow of winter, so feeling cold today. I don't know if you were in when I was talking about this, Anthony, but first of all, I'm jealous. I wish I were back in the UK. I got to visit there last year, and it was an incredible trip. Really, really was amazing. But yeah, I was saying that like right around this time of year, right around Thanksgiving, is the same weather that's the same weather that I usually go to when I was a kid. Up until I was like probably almost 20 actually, we would usually go to my relatives that lived in northern New Jersey. And so it always looked exactly like this. Like if you look outside, here, let me switch this for a second. if you look outside, like gray and kind of an overcast, right? And all the leaves are off the trees and all that stuff. Like, so it's got this sort of weird nostalgic vibe for me, you know, in that I kind of remember it. So that's the deal. Hey, Stelio, thank you. Joyful maintenance. I hope it's joyful. This one is a big one. It's the 120,000 miles. So 3 shifts at Barnes Noble. System manager says I'm doing great, learning fast. I mean, surprising absolutely no one, Trifid. How has it been so far? Is it okay? Are you digging it okay? You know the goal here, right, Trifid, is that you rise to the level of managing a Barnes & Noble, and then you can start stocking regularly a certain fantasy author that you might know. You know, just saying. That's the real goal here. You know, just like, why do you keep talking about this one guy? Well, you know, his work just really resonates with me. That's what we need to do here. How are you, Stalio? Good morning. You just got your car back from the shop the other day. $1,900 alternator. God. You know, the problem is, like, whenever anything happens with a car, you're just kind of like, what is going to be the domino effect, right, of these things? Like, a couple of weeks ago, we had an electrician into our house because we live in an old house, 200-year-old house, and we basically had a new circuit breaker box, like put down electrical box, put in the basement, and we needed someone to basically map it and also like make sure that everything was, like, the original electrician obviously was doing it based on code, but we also wanted to make sure that they could map out everything that was there. And so he's there doing that work, and like, so we're dealing with them, and then I walk down with the checkbook to pay him, and I look out my front window, I should say my side window really, and there's a tree on our car in the driveway. Like a tree had fallen on our car. And the thing is, it had been falling, it was very slow, like it basically just pulled out, its roots had pulled out, and then just sort of, so there was only really like one little dent in the car, so it didn't really like slam on top of the car, but it was one of those things where it's like, you know, it's this like double take thing where you're like, okay, I'm going to pay why is there a tree on my car? So anyway, so that happened, and I immediately was like, what is this going to cost? How much is it going to be? You know, and of course it was not on our property, right? The tree was from the neighbor's property. So, you were looking for my books the other day? Listen, the more that you know, Stalio, anytime anyone can request those books, that's a good thing. But it depends on where they actually are sometimes, so it's not always depending on the bookstore. But I know that I know my books are at Baka Phoenix in Toronto. I know that they are at Blackrock Books, obviously, which is my local bookstore. There's some independent bookstores that carry them. And what I would really love is to be able to get to the point where we have stuff where it's showing up in the Barnes and Nobles of the world. So, great environment, nice coworkers, customer nice, and feet not as tired. 6 miles Friday. 6 miles! Good golly. Yeah, I mean, well, that tracks. I mean, I worked retail for a while. I was assistant manager for an electronics boutique way, way, way back in the day. So I know that feel. At least it's on carpet, usually. I assume that's what you're getting your steps in. I assume that's what your Barnes & Noble usually is. Most of them are usually carpeted, so it helps a little bit. Wednesday, not Friday, yeah. Yep. EB. I was there before, and I was there when the Deep Magic was written. I was there before it became sort of connected by GameStop and all that stuff. I remember when Electronics Boutique beat Babbage's. There's a name I bet you haven't heard either. Took out Babbage's, and then eventually, and there are still a couple of electronic boutiques around, I think, but most of them have been swallowed up, which I could have predicted based on a lot of lousy retail decisions that they made. Carpets and cushion mats behind the register. Ah, okay. Yeah. You know what I was thinking about with this? I'm going to be going to this con. I'm going to PAX Unplugged this weekend. Brandon is already there. I'm going to be there on Sunday. So, thank you very much. Thanks.
Anything else, Ryan?
I think just maybe some jam or something, if you could bring that. No, I don't. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. And so it put me in mind of the fact that, like, nothing is harder than the floor of a convention hall after they take the carpet off. Like, it is amazing what a difference a carpet or not a carpet on one of those convention floors is. They are hard. All right, quick look at the breakfast. Ham, broccoli, feta, sourdough bread, hash browns. You're a Radio Shack guy, yeah. I liked Radio Shack. I had a TRS 80. I had a Trash 80, as they called it. I did a little bit of programming on it in BASIC. I feel like there are still a couple of Radio Shacks around here and there, but I feel like nothing has ever really replaced what a Radio Shack was supposed to be, which was like getting random like electronic or electric widget things. Like where else do you get electric stuff? You know what I mean? You can't, like, because there was no Best Buy. No, Best Buy doesn't have stuff like that. Like, you know, if you need like a capacitor, you know, thank you very much. Random parts, yeah, exactly. Like, where do you get that stuff, you know? Speaking of nostalgia, like, that's very strong memory for me from my childhood from the 80s is, you know, seeing the computers in the stores and stuff like that, the TRS 80s. Yeah. Exactly. Now they're on Amazon, and you don't even know half the time. Like, there's like 65 different brands. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. I had to get a new toner for my color laser printer, and I have a Canon, and it's expensive. But it only, I get the high whatever density or high yield, whatever it is, and I don't have to get it that often, right? I only have to get it maybe once every couple of years. It's a couple $100 though to actually get that toner. And so if you go on Amazon and you do a search for that, you will get Canon, but you'll also get 7,000 other brands that are Chinese brands that are like red and white that have this weird kind of naming or whatever, and they're all like third party, but they sure look like Canon if you're not paying close attention, like Yoni Harnu, so, like, I mean, all these weird names that are a little sketchy. And they all look the same. And some of them are probably not sketchy, actually. Some of them are probably okay, but, like, good grief. Yeah, it's you in a list. Yeah, I mean... That's the interesting thing about the tariffs. One of the things that came about the tariffs is the fact that the Chinese government... Well, I should say the China in general is fundamentally important to a lot of manufacturing now, but it's especially important to the games industry. Like the tabletop gaming industry, like they're trying now, I think, recognizing the danger, they're trying to bring things back to like domestic production, but a lot of them, the prices were just so much better that they ended up outsourcing so much to China. So when the tariffs come in, and yes, there have been exceptions made for them because of like book stuff, but it's not guaranteed. And obviously, with this clown that we have in office, who knows what the next sort of fever dream will be that he decides to do. So, but yeah, it's everything's great. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely, Trippin. It does take time, and I think it's got value. I think that when I was growing up in my hometown in Connecticut, yeah, I know, right, exactly. They make people violent, he will say, while also simultaneously calling for the execution of his political enemies. Yeah, it's amazing. But when I was growing up, Triffid, in my hometown of Canton, Connecticut, northwestern Connecticut, kind of a smaller town, like 15,000 people, 10,000. No, when I was there, it was more like 9,000 people. But anyway, a lot of what Canton had was light industry. And so, the sort of smaller factories, the sort of little things that would have maybe 10, 15 employees or something like that. So it wasn't like mom and pop completely, but it definitely wasn't big corporation type stuff. And then a lot of that, by the time I was, in college, was already going away. And light industry has a lot of things to recommend it, right? Because it's still locally owned. A lot of that money is staying sort of in the town that you're in, or at least the region that you're in. Obviously, is providing jobs. And it's more sensitive to the needs of the consumer that are around it, because Bob down the street is going to need to get this, and this, and Bob because of whatever. And when that stuff goes away, so then they try to build tax bases on they build they bring in Kohl's or big clothing stores or whatever. But you can't build a tax base on retail. A retail tax base is very erratic because it's based on consumer confidence, which is all over the place, and which is dependent upon things beyond the control of the local industry, right? If people are losing their job, a local, mom and pop shop can't manage that. They have no control over that. So, you can't build it on retail. You really got to build it on more of a strong base, and that's what the light industry is about. That's what we're going to need to reform, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Light industry, small little factories, small little publishing, entities that are printing entities, I should say, for publishers. We need more of that, and that's the stuff that's gone away.
I haven't seen this maybe since 2001. Yes.
Stalio, do you think that's still a thing in the UK? Is sort of local industry, light industry, still a significant part of the UK economy, do you think? Or is that going away too? Oh, I see. Wait, Stalio. I thought you said... Man, let me go back. Oh, I was talking about... I'm sorry, Stalio. I got mixed up, sorry. I was going to ask Anthony that, who was from the UK. My bad. No, I knew that, Stalio. Sorry. Yeah, but you know what I mean. The thing is, it's a choice. If a town actively pursues it, and if a sort of consumer base is made aware that they should follow it, my local bookstore is doing very well. And a lot of it is because the community as a whole was we need bookstores like this. We need small stores like this, period. And so they do a lot of their shopping there. They do their online book shopping. They go through this company, and that's a choice, and you can, but it's possible to do. It's not some like, oh well, demographics, well that's the sweep of history and all this nonsense. It's not true. It's a choice, so you can make a different choice, but we have to collectively do it. Yeah, I knew that, Stalio, actually. Sorry. You had the same color as Anthony, and so Anthony was the first one to say something and was like, hey, from the UK, and I was like, yeah. Yeah. It used to be the big thing was trying to keep out the Walmarts of the world, right? That was the first fight for, like, small-town America, was keep out the Walmarts, keep out the Dollar Generals, the ones that really sort of undercut local business. And now it really, as you say, like mega industry, this godforsaken data center bullshit. And you think it's going to be crazy to see what happens when shopping malls close, right? Wait till the data centers start closing, because that's going to happen too. Because this is not sustainable. The AI bubble is a bubble of bubbliest bubbles. Like right now, Wall Street is all vibes. It's all just like, everything's fine. Everything's great. No, it's not true that the economy is in major problems and that, jobs are a major issue and like inflation is a huge problem. No, it's fine. Eventually the market's going to be like, wait, it's not actually fine. So, when the bubble bursts, it's going to burst. I hope that it bursts in time to reduce the effect on the economy and certainly to reduce the effect on the environment. Oh, is that true, Anthony? Yeah. That's a shame. I know. You know what's so sad about it? Is that the billionaires never can tell you what it actually does. Because it doesn't freaking do anything. Ever. At all. Hey, what's up, Illness? There is homemade jam. Look at this. Look at this. Let me. Let me do it this way. See? Homemade jam. Thanks for the reset, Illness. I appreciate it, man. And I hope all's well, man. I was very glad to, without getting into details, I'm glad that things are good on the health side, so to speak. The AI rug pull. Most of the stores and the malls where I've gone at work have gone. So, you know a couple things. First of all, Anthony, what's sad about that is that it's always felt to me like a big part of UK sort of kind of cultural imagination is the sort of small Main Street, type of mom and pop-ish type business, you know what I mean? And so I wanted to say that. And then the AI rug pull, Stalio, is, again, I'm going to have, I wonder if I'm at liberty to talk about this. Can I talk about it? I think so. All right, I'm going to tell you all this now, okay? You're sworn to secrecy. No, I'm just kidding. My university is going to be making a larger announcement, but so the tech journalist, Ed Zitron, if you do a search for Zitron and you look at him online, he's been on MSNBC, BBC, CNN, like he's been everywhere, and he runs this basic thing, this newsletter called Get Your Ed Out, I believe it's called, or no, Where's Your Ed At? That's what it is, Where's Your Ed At? And he is a big sort of proponent of like issues that with AI, and yours truly, I am going to be having a conversation with him at my university in the spring. So, date to be announced, but in the spring, I will be chatting with him in front of an audience at my university, which I'm very excited about. He's really good on this stuff, and is obviously very much not pro this stuff, so I'm excited for that. Yeah. So I have a poetry event happening in the spring at my university, and then I have this happening a couple weeks later, so it's going to be pretty cool. Hillness, again, that's so awesome, though. I was so happy to hear that. I was like really, really happy about that. Oh, we're going to stream it. They're going to market it too. I think what's going on at my university is I think there's a battle going on between, I can't get into too much detail in this, but I think that I don't have any like inside info, but my guess is that there's a battle going on between a couple of people who are like all in and a bunch of people who are like, what the hell is this? No. I went to a lecture on Monday at my university, which I think I talked about this Tuesday, that was called The Catholic Intellectual Tradition in the Age of AI by a guy named Joe Vukov, who's a professor of philosophy at Loyola Chicago. It was, I went there with like my notes poised, like I was like, all right, because I'm on the AI ethics committee and everything, and I was like, I was ready to like freaking, it was actually a really good talk. It was a good presentation, and it was like he had a little bit of it can be a good tool, and I'm like, no, it can't. But the overwhelming majority of it, though, was pretty critical and was very like sort of specifically critical in the Catholic intellectual tradition. Like, so my university is the second largest private Catholic university in the United States, and Pope Leo, as you may know, the new pope, just came in a few months ago, and Pope Leo, the first American pope, by the way, took the name Leo because the first Pope Leo, Leo the 13th, was just basically was around the time of the Industrial Revolution, and he built much of his papacy on challenging worker devastation, inequities and all that stuff that were environmental disasters that were a result of the Industrial Revolution. So this Pope saw AI as a revolution that also had to be combated in the same way. So he basically was like, so his whole papacy is about the dangers of AI in a lot of ways. And I was like, so that really helps. And it means that, so this guy that was giving this talk at the university talked about that and was talking about, it was like how it's really countercultural, about how if you look at the Beatitudes, which is the whole blessed are the weak, blessed are the poor, blessed are the whatever. If you look at all that stuff, the Beatitudes do not speak about blessed are those who make ridiculously high-level data centers. I'm joking, but the point is, like, they don't pay attention to profit. They put poor people and the disenfranchised first, which is what AI explicitly does not do, right? It's abuse, it's exploitation, it's theft. It disproportionately falls on marginalized and underserved communities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it was, and he literally said, we're going to need to be countercultural to battle the effects of what this is. And he's confident that we can, but that's what needs to happen. And I do already feel examples of that. So anyway, when I saw that presentation, I'm like, right, I've got some cover because the guy that I'm bringing in is not going to be pro. And the thing is, too, that there are valuable uses of not generative artificial intelligence, right? Like things that are iterative or extractive, artificial intelligence that fills in the gaps for things like medical transcriptions and stuff like that. That's very useful, but that's also not generative. This thing is a whole different ball of wax, and it gives all of artificial intelligence a bad name because it's bullshit, frankly, because it doesn't do anything of what it says it does. It is disastrous for the environment. It's disastrous for communities. It's disastrous for workers' rights, Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Francis, the guy after Benedict, was pretty good, actually, comparatively for popes, My poor waiter keeps coming back and, like, seeing me talking to my phone and then walking away again. Poor guy. Pope Bling. Can you believe that he's still around as like a Pope Emeritus or something? Which I don't remember, but I don't know if that's ever happened. That you had a Pope who like steps down and he's just around. He's like, I think he's still around, isn't he? Well, listen, you know that the current Pope understands suffering because he's a White Sox fan. So, the dude is in it. The dude knows. He understands the nature of suffering. Now, he's an interesting guy, though. A lot of them, people thought of him as also, because he's fluent in Spanish, and obviously Latin, in addition to his native language of English, and he did his mission, I don't remember where the country was, but was highly, highly respected by the people there. I can't remember what the country was, though, but a lot of people said he was sort of the Pope of both of those places, so we'll see. Obviously, there can be a lot of issues with popes, but good ones, because of their influence, can make a big difference. So, yeah, exactly. Thou mayst never see one. Hey, they've won one. It's just been a while. Listen, I did that penance myself until 2004. And then once I got to 2004, then I became a fan of the team in the millennium, the Red Sox, who have won 4 championships and so forth. Never had anything to complain about with my sports teams now. I've seen 4 championships in my lifetime with the Red Sox. I've seen 6 championships in my lifetime with the Huskies. I've seen, not to mention the women's, which is another 16, 17 championships. I have seen, well, in my lifetime, I've seen 5 championships of the Steelers. But in my lifetime where I was actually knew what I was watching, 2 championships for the Steelers. Let's see, what else? Baseball, football. Hockey, I guess, I didn't really, because the Whalers never won one. But for the most part, I really have nothing to complain about. Yeah, even the Cubs won one. Yeah, but that was a sliding doors thing, Stalio. The Cubs won one, and the next thing you know, Jackass got elected. So, the Cubs paid a heavy price. We all paid a heavy price for the Cubs finally winning one. Yeah, I saw that, I mean, that was even more of an earthquake than the Red Sox winning one. The Red Sox winning one was an earthquake of epic proportions, and all we got was a re-elected George Bush. But when the Cubs won one, all of a sudden, I wonder how many people, I probably shouldn't ask that question. I shouldn't ask the question how many people would actually take, if they knew ahead of time, like, okay, you win a World Series, but then this jackass gets elected. I wonder, they probably would have been like, it's fine, I'll do that. Because they wouldn't know enough at the time. But if they knew what they know now, and they were like, okay, so now you want them to win one. A difficult trade-off. See, the Dodgers never have to make this trade-off. The Dodgers just spend more money and win, regardless. Right? Yeah. I think you're probably right. And see, the thing is that people who are Cubs fans and Red Sox fans understand that it's not the same. It's not like a. It's just sports. Like there's a. I don't know. There's a history with both fan bases, Red Sox and Cubs, that they're sort of like. I mean, in the Red Sox case, it's because it really is an all New England team. So it's not just Boston, right? It's kind of a New England thing. So it unites, like Stephen King, who lives in Maine, of course, is a huge Red Sox guy, right? Like, it sort of unites an entire region. So I remember after they won the one in 2004, they did this great commercial that was set to the, that song, I'm 99 for a moment. Sun is high, ba 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 ba. When you only got 100 years to live, it's Five for Fighting. That's the name of the song, the band. And they did the thing cut to that, showing all of the the Fred Lynn, the Stay Fair, Yastrzemski, Ted Williams, all the ones over the years. And then 1986, Bill Buckner, and like the whole bit. And then finally showed, the winning outs against the Cardinals. It was pretty cool. And, like, not all fan bases can say that. Like, it's the Padres. The Padres have never won a World Series, I don't think. Like, do you think anyone in San Diego cares? Like, they're like, oh, the Padres. Like, I'm going to go suffer by sitting on the beach in 80-degree temperature. You know what I mean?
They asked me for the bathroom.
You
figured it after?
I figured that out.
At one point.
Right. Or the Orioles before the Nationals, moved from Montreal when they were the Expos, when they moved to the Nationals. That was a big thing for them because the Washington, D.C. area, that whole area, that Mid-Atlantic area, is basically Orioles territory, Yeah, I say this sometimes and it comes across like I'm mocking San Diego fans. I'm not mocking them. I just don't think they have investment in the same way.
I'll do a water. I think I have three other people that are back. No, they'll be back. Well, you don't see them? I don't know if they're coming back. Yeah, no, they should be.
Yes, sir.
I'm good.
You're okay.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. So, yeah, they're not miserable ever. They just go to the beach. So I'm sure they would like their team to win. I don't think it really. It's like when the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, San Bernardino County, whatever the hell it is now. Like, do they really care? Because the weather's so nice. Whereas in New England, if you lose in October, you then have to look forward to November, December, January, February, March before it starts getting nice again. When they say hot stove, it really is have to be a hot stove. Because it's cold. In San Diego, I suppose. Do you feel the same level of pain with Chargers fans, though?
I told you they were real.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Great, thanks.
It's just you by yourself.
Yeah. With four menus.
Reimagine her.
I never got the same sense of pain or misery from Chargers fans.
Dude, this one hurts too. This
I know they have suffered, I guess, but it doesn't feel quite the same. Like when the Rams won one in LA, was it really that much? Cowboys fans, yeah. I'm a Steelers fan, I have to say, so I know that feeling. Steelers, Green Bay. Yeah, Cowboys fans. Well, the problem with Cowboys fans is that Cowboys fans who travel very well, but it's been 30 years since the Cowboys have done anything. Right? Like, I mean, the Steelers at least, won 15 years ago, and they've won 6 overall. But the Cowboys fans, it's always like, but our team has a great storied history. I'm like, it's an old history. It's like Yankees fans who keep talking about how great their team is. And I'm like, last time you won anything was in 2009. It's been 16 years, and you've had a top 3 payroll, Green Bay I can't be too mad at because it's locally owned. It's a small market. So that's a little different, and also I have friends, John Helfers is a big Green Bay guy, lives in Green Bay, so I can't, I can't be too mad at them.
I was reading my video, I was just listening to the things you were saying.
It's like, please, just keep
I was like, this is like the awful. Manual tape.
There you go. Send us
Manual
some
test. There's
That sounds good. Yo, keep going. Where is it? That sounds good. Follow along. Where is it? Where are you?
Maybe look for that.
I have enough fans of different, enough friends from different fan bases in my life that I tend not to be too mad at most of them. Ravens are tough. That's tough. The worst, actually, for years was New England Patriots because I can't stand Belichick, and I love New England, and I got my doctorate up there and whatever. But it was just a different deal. Like, I just couldn't deal with them. And then, the entitlement, oh, God. So for a while, Patriots were like, first my goal was to, root for the Steelers. Second was to hope that the Patriots didn't make it. Now, now I don't know. I can't really get mad about Mike Vrabel or about the current Patriots. But back in the day, yeah, they were cheaters. They were. They were Nixonian. And Belichick's a Trump supporter. I can't with him. But he's gone now, and he's brought his brand of whatever it is to UNC. Yeah, and you have to remember that, I was in that area. I was at Brandeis doing my doctorate when they hired Belichick to begin with. So I lived through, oh my God, the first, whatever it was, 5 years of the dynasty and, the greatness and all this. Like, oh my God. Could not stand them. And Yankee fans, but Yankees fans are complicated because since I lived in New York City for so long and then lived in the Northeast, in the tri-state area still, I know a lot of nice Yankee fans. I also know a lot of not nice Yankee fans. So that's one I have to be a little more circumspect about. But I told this story before. I was hired at a university, St. John's, in 2003. So I was there when Aaron Boone hit the home run off Tim Wakefield. The Yankees beat the Red Sox again. I had to go through all that. 2004, though, when the Red Sox beat the Yankees, and then when the Red Sox won the World Series, I walked into my classroom and I wrote on the board 2004. I crossed it out. Sorry, 1918 rather. Crossed it out. And then I wrote 2004. And the reaction I had from my class was twofold. Half the class was like this. They were just, those are the Yankee fans. And the other half were doing this because they were Mets fans. And the one thing that Red Sox and Mets fans can agree on is that the Yankees suck. It was very funny. I was like, and then I got to watch, 3 more championships after that. 07, 2013, 2017. So, that was nice. There's a lot of sympathy, mutual sympathy between Mets and Red Sox fans. Anyone excited for World Cup? I saw that Scotland qualified for the first time in a long time. And the U.S. will be there. Or be here, because it's going to be here in Mexico, I think.
Thank you so much.
She told me to do that.
Are we ready to roll?
I got a question. Do you have coffee milk here? Coffee milk. Never even heard of it.
What is that?
It's like, instead of chocolate syrup, it's
Coffee syrup.
if you ever, Rhode Island, Massachusetts.
Nope. Even with the assistance of his,
Is there a brand of syrup that is particularly?
somewhat age difference, girlfriend. I mean, I don't know. People can love whoever they want, but mid-70s and mid-20s is pushing it to me a little bit. Just a little bit. But I don't know. It's his personal life. He can do what he wants. I just think that it does, the way that's all been set up, it does feel like I don't know that he's got it. I don't know. I'm beginning to think that, he was a lousy coach in Cleveland. He came to the Patriots and he became really good at the same time that Tom Brady showed up. And once Tom Brady left, Belichick didn't win again. And Tom Brady went off and won another one in Tampa Bay. Does make you think it might have been more about the quarterback than the coach. Because God knows since Brady left, he has not been either in pros or college, knows what he's doing. He should recruit Brady. Yeah, he's probably got eligibility, right? Can you imagine? The funny thing is that right now, if Brady took the field, Brady would immediately mean that team would win like 3 more games, even though he would probably be sacked like 5 times. Because that's the thing, like pro players are just so much bigger and stronger than most college players, even the high-level college players. So, I don't know, maybe he can hang around long enough. Brady's got a couple kids. Like, he just waits long enough for one of them to get to be, late teens, early 20s. Gets them on board. Still has the Brady genetics. Yeah, Archie Manning. Archie Manning, but he has not been. He's not been what his brothers were so far. He's been pretty shaky, but he's a Texas, and I think he's a sophomore, maybe. So maybe he'll improve, but yeah, I mean, Eli I always thought was incredibly. Yeah, no kidding. Eli, I always thought was incredibly overrated, but you got obviously Peyton, who's a Hall of Famer, and Eli did win 2 Super Bowls, and then you got, and then their father, was it also Archie Manning? I think so, because this is also Arch Manning. I think it was also Archie Manning anyway. But their father was a good player. He just was playing on a garbage team, so they never went anywhere. Yeah, exactly, Stalio. Already has made more in college than we have in our entire lives. I don't know. I go back and forth on that stuff. Like, a big part of when I was in college, I enjoyed watching college sports. I still to this day like watching college basketball in particular. So I do get a lot of entertainment and enjoyment out of it. But I do remember I used to teach a course in Gamble Pavilion, which is the basketball arena for UConn that's on campus. And you go in there now, and it's just banners everywhere, right? Because they've done nothing but win for decades. But I used to come out of the classrooms at the bottom of that place, and you walk up and out through the main arena port, and I'd be looking down at players, knowing that 3 of those players together would be what it would take to get to my SAT scores, and yet I was having to work 2 jobs and whatever to be able to kind of work my way through, because I can't dunk a basketball. It wasn't my particular, gift. So I don't know what to make of that, at the same time I also do enjoy it. So
She likes it.
I think at least the one thing about the NIL is I think at least it's made it more honest. So at least we don't pretend about the nature of the student athlete. And I do teach, I should say. It also depends on the sport, because I do teach a number of student athletes. I've taught a number of them over the years. I've taught a couple of basketball, but I've taught a lot of them from tennis, soccer. And the tennis athletes, the soccer athletes, the track athletes tend to be pretty solid students. I've got 2 soccer players right now. Actually, one of them played yesterday, and I don't know if they won. I should check that. They were in the NCAA tournament, St. John's against West Virginia. And I have a student who's on that men's team, and then I have another student who's on the women's team. They're pretty good students, actually. Fairly conscientious. They pretty much contribute in class. Pretty good, for the most part, honestly.
You change?
No. Thank you very much. So, yeah. So it kind of depends on the sport. I've had fencing athletes, too, who are pretty good. The main issue is, basketball. And I don't have football at my school anymore. My university stopped with football a long time ago. So it's just basketball. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Now the soccer ones could, UConn. I have to say, St. John's does have some very good soccer players. They have a very good soccer program. They also have a very good baseball program. There are people who came out of the St. John's baseball program who ended up going on to pro sports, and pitch for the Red Sox and stuff. So there were some of them, but yeah, typically it was the ones who were less likely to get those multi-million-dollar contracts tend to be the better students, in my experience. Because if I was thinking about teaching basketball players on average as opposed to teaching soccer players on average, like I say, soccer players are fairly good students. Basketball players, not so much, in my experience. But that's also a generalization, so. Oh. Yeah. I was thinking about that, Triffid. You know, the one that I think is the closest to that is the spelling bee. Like, people do get into the spelling championships of stuff. Hey, Guy Shield. What's up, man? People do get into that. But that's the closest I can think of, honestly. Yeah, same guy. Yeah, I'm doing well. Just sitting down. We're chatting about, the moment we're chatting about the link between sports, academics, and things like that. After a good breakfast. But yeah, like, that's the closest. I hope you're doing well too, guys. But that's the closest I can think of, Triffid, is the spelling bee stuff. But you know, that's good. Yeah, if you can be like, if we could make it more like, if we could make it more of a competitive thing. I wish it didn't have to be this way, by the way, because I have my own concerns about super competitiveness, but that tends to be something that gets people a little bit more into it, one way or the other. So.
It's not really a vegetable, but it's not a vegetable, but it's a fungi, right? Yeah, but it's it's in an omelet. Yeah, the jalapenos with the spinach would be too much.
All right, good.
So that's what we need to do. And actually, there are some things that like are kind of sort of bridging the gap. Like, I have an esports team at my university. We have and actually our esports team is part of the Big East Athletic Conference. So the same athletic conference that the UConn basketball team plays in, that the St. John's basketball team plays in, Providence, Georgetown, all those teams, they have esports as well, and that's part of the Big East Conference. So, and I know the people actually who do that, like who manage the esports people, the advisors and stuff for that. So, bear with me just a second, chat. I'm getting a note. College esports, yeah, it is, and it's getting bigger. I mean, they haven't, you don't have NIL contracts or anything for it, but no, they have a whole on the in the building that I do most of my teaching, on the second floor, there's a whole, like, I don't know what you would call it, esports, like, training facility, I guess. It's like, and it's basically a computer room. Like, it's a room with, like, I don't know, but it's got like 16 like state-of-the-art computers or something like that in there, and you see them in there, and they have monitors up on the walls where you can see as they're practicing, whatever League of Legends or Overwatch or whatever the thing is that they're doing for esports. So, which, I guess that maybe gets us a little closer to the not just sports, but also something which is a little more, I don't know, based on other things.
I like one of the teams from Boston.
So yeah, college esports. And if you think about, like, I can imagine a scenario, try to be an esport, or you see yourself getting burned and having anger issues in the future. Yeah, it's about whether you can maintain that even keel. I was thinking about this actually when there was that, I think it was last year or the year before, when the latest Street Fighter came out, and like some of the tournaments that they were doing were pretty legit. Like, I mean, and they were legit in terms of they didn't feel like they were just obvious money grabs. They felt like people were genuinely into the stuff that they were doing. So like the 2D fighters, I totally see that. The League of Legends stuff, I'm just not a big MOBA guy myself, so. Yeah. That was the older school one. No, I'm telling you, man, it's very much more mainstream and out in the open now. Because gaming itself has become that way. I mean, gaming is, whatever, multi-billion-dollar industry, right?
I didn't know that.
So they have been brought out of the basement. All right, And I'm wondering, so they sent me a video for me to look at of my car. So you stopped League, it got to me, you lost your own account, new MMOs, Lost Ark, Guild Wars 2, even the old one. Yeah, wow, DDO. Now, there's a name I've not heard for. Yep. That's what we need. We need like MMO esports that's like Lord of the Rings style. That's what we need. Esport Lord of the Rings online. Let's go. Esport Guild Wars 2. Esports Dungeons and Dragons online. That's what we need. Esports WoW. And if you combine esports and WoW, get ready for this one, chat. You know what you get? WoW esports. Think the ads write themselves. Welcome to WoW esports. WoW-E. Yeah. I think also because PvP, wowie zowie. It just I can just see the merch now, Triffid, you know. Yeah, it's interesting, Gaia, because there was a time when PvP was like the thing, and I felt like those of us, like yours truly, who was more of a PvE guy, was not really, you know, but now. And then there's also like the other thing, esport thing, obviously would be like you know, RTSs, the you know, StarCrafts of the world, like that kind of thing. That also could be, you know, very useful. But I still think the easiest to follow though for an audience, I think still is Street Fighter and like the 2D fighters. That to me is still the biggest one. Is the 2D fighters. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, chat, is it's 10:40. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually really enjoying this conversation, and I would like to continue it. But I need to check this video about my car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut stream for a minute, and then I'm going to check the video for my car, and I'm going to make sure that they got it all ready to go, and they're going to come back on. So I'm going to cut stream, but please don't leave, okay? I'll be back with you folks for at least like another 15-20 minutes, but I want to at least hear what's going on with the car, okay? So nobody leave. If someone else comes in, they're like, wait, is Arv done? Arv's not quite done, okay? So I'll be back in a minute as soon as I hear how my car's doing, okay? So hold tight, I'll be back.